What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Hypocritical AF podcast. I am your host, Albert Fig, back with another week, fresh off Super Bowl weekend. And yeah, it was what it was. If you enjoyed it, you enjoyed it. It definitely wasn't the, most exciting game in a minute. Definitely have been better Super Bowls, but it was fun to just have people over, right? Damn. If you didn't like the Super Bowl, I don't blame you. If you're tired of hearing about the Super Bowl, I don't blame you. Am I going to break the Super Bowl down and go by each play at a time and fucking call the stats and, all the calls and then disseminate what team did wrong? No, because that's not what I do. But I will say, fresh off the Super Bowl weekend, and I tell you what, there was a very competitive game. There was a very competitive game. And I'm not talking about the Super Bowl. I'm talking about the damn beer pong games that were being played here at the house. The beer pong games that we were playing were way more competitive than the actual football game itself. And I say that too because me specifically, I haven't played in a minute, and I could literally tell after 2 games, I was like, oh shit, I haven't played beer pong in a minute. Anyway, we'll get to that. What's up, y'all? This week, episode 11. Crazy to even think about episode 11. We did it. We're doing it. Started about, a little over two and a half months ago. Dropped episode 1 like December 1st. And now look at us. Look at us. Week 11. With plenty more to go, bro. We're not stopping. We are not stopping. Dropped a couple bonus episodes. A couple Zoom ones. In-studio guest ones and then solo ones. Back with another week, another solo one. Yo, I got baby monitor to the right. Behind me, I have the new, almost done set dress for the studio. It's not fully complete yet. I'm still experimenting with a few things, changing up a few things, just trying to trying to get the studio a different vibe, you know what I mean? A different feel. And, because when I first launched it, when I first set all this up, it was like, just kind of putting a picture up and to see, throwing shit up and see what sticks and to see what looks good. So changing a few things up, adding a few more things, taking a few things out, but really just trying to see what looks and feels better. Speaking about look and feel, do y'all hear that? Do you hear that? If you're not watching at home, and if you're seeing this on YouTube, you don't hear the movements anymore. That's because I got rid of the leather chairs. Yes, I upgraded the chairs. I wish y'all can see it. I mean, you can kind of see it right here, but you won't be able to fully see it until next episode. Next episode with the guests, you'll be able to see the chairs, the layout, a few things here and there, but changing a few things up. And let me know what y'all think. Still learning on the go. Yo, so, okay, before I even get to some of the stuff that I want to get to, just wanted to wrap up the whole Super Bowl thing. Like I said, I'm sure by the time this drops, it's going to drop on Wednesday. So you'll be all Super Bowled out and not going to want to hear shit about it. So I'm not going to break all that stuff down. But we had like a little, Super Bowl watch party here. Super Bowls are a thing, man. I like doing watch parties because it's like, it's an event. I like to get people together, same old shit that we do every year. Barbecue, food, drinks, good people, good vibes, the whole thing, it's always the same thing. But this year was a little bit different in that the commercials weren't the same, the game wasn't the same, and I didn't get to go in on the barbecue like I normally do. I made burgers, but that was pretty much it. Nothing like specifically crazy, But the game itself, like I said, The weekend halftime show, respects all the respects. Matter of fact, let me get the damn hold up. For the weekend, the Super Bowl halftime show. Come on. Round of applause. Yes. Yo, hot take. I'm going to say right here, and you hear it first. The weekend's halftime show, better than Michael Jackson's. There I said it. Better than Michael Jackson's shows. For some of you, that's going to hurt, which I know it will. And I don't give a fuck. The Weeknd show was better than the Michael Jackson show. But that's just my opinion. I mean, if you think about like everything that went into it, you know, I heard supposedly that he put in $7 million of his own money into the show, and you could see it. You could see it play out. And another cool thing that I found out was there one of the dancers that were on the field, because there was at some point where like all the people with the red suits and the freaking gauze on his face and everything, one of the people that were on the Super Bowl field itself was a person, Sacramento's own. Sacramento's own was at the Super Bowl performing during the halftime show. How dope is that? I forget exactly who it was. Sacramento's own Jalen. Shouts out to you, man. Performing at the halftime show at the Super Bowl. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Repping Sacramento and doing the damn thing. So shouts out to you and congrats on that. But yeah, so between that show, all the graphics and the way it changed and the elevations, and I don't know how the hell you got all the way to the top and then mid and then low like so fast, you know what I mean? But $7 million of your own money to perform like that and to put on a show like that. And supposedly, I hear, I don't know how true it is, but supposedly they say that the artists that perform, that they don't actually get paid. Like the Super Bowl doesn't pay them, supposedly. So to put all that into it, man, and to have the outcome that it did was amazing to watch, and definitely really cool to be a part of, and to say I saw that one live through the TV. But yeah, a bunch of people hit me up about the shows that I was talking about on Netflix. I told y'all, and I give y'all a warning. I said, yo, it's tough. It's a lot to take in. Motherfuckers are crazy, and they were good docuseries. You know what I mean? So that's what's popping with Netflix now. I got another one. But again, by the time this one comes out, there's going to be another one that I definitely going to recommend to watch, and it's called The Cecil Hotel on Netflix. That one I am hyped for. So best believe when this one comes out at night, definitely going to watch that. Maybe have a few glasses of wine. You know, I said I was cool. I wasn't going to drink for the rest of the week. Going to have a few glasses of wine for this one. Cecil Hotel, man. If y'all don't know anything about it, I barely know a few things about it, but basically it's like the hotel in LA off of Skid Row. And it's like notoriously known for like having some weird stuff, and the people that have been there, the people that have stayed there have been serial killers and like mysterious deaths surrounding it, and just creepy place, supposedly, but also really cheap. So great deal. So if you're looking for a cheap hotel and you don't care about all that stuff, definitely got some fucking steals as far as rates go if you want to stay there. But yeah, so I watched the little trailer for it on YouTube. No. Was it YouTube? Yeah, I watched the trailer for it on YouTube, and they go right into it. They talk about like all the deaths that's been there, the missing people and the disappearing of people, and then that girl in the elevator, and then she ends up in the water tower dead, and like the guests were complaining about like the bloody waters and all kinds of crazy shit. There's a bunch of conspiracy theories with all that stuff too, but I'm not a conspiracy theorist, nor do I care to even break all that stuff down. But if you do know some shit, send me that fucking link. You know what I mean? Send me that link. I'm down to take a look. Yeah. But they actually show that footage too of that girl that was in the elevator. They show that footage, so that's how you know that either they're really fishing for content or that's some real shit. But also, there's even some stuff behind the girl that was in the elevator. There's some like, some questionable background stuff for a lot of stuff. I don't know, but either way, I'm watching Cecil Hotel, Netflix. Watch that shit. Speaking of Netflix, if y'all got any recommendations, send them to me. DM me. Send me an email. hypocriticalpod@gmail.com. That's the shop's email. Yeah, I'm kind of getting like this resurgence or like getting back into Netflix, man. I never actually went to it. Like I would watch Netflix, you know what I mean? But it was never a go-to for me. I barely even watched, I never really watched TV as it is. I was mainly on YouTube every day looking at random stuff. But Netflix too is like, I'm more of a I'm a movie buff, man. I love watching movies. So I liked watching movies. And then I've noticed that at one point, Netflix started kind of like, still putting out movies and everything, but they started getting into more TV shows and docu-series and mini-series and stuff like that, which, it's all fine, nothing against them. And it's obviously they're killing it because fucking they're like worth a shit ton and everybody's on Netflix. But I never really was into like the shows and the mini series. Although there is a couple shows that I do like, Atypical being one of them. Waiting for, I think it's season 4, I forget, 3 or 4, but yeah, stuff like that, but Netflix, definitely am getting back into that. So yeah, any recommendations and stuff like that, shoot that shit my way, bruh. Another thing that I wanted to talk about specifically when it comes to like TV stuff. And Hulu. Hulu's another one that I just never really got into. Like I did try like that 30-day one. Like my homie Anthony gave me a passcode one time for his, but I don't know. I just, with the whole streaming stuff, there's just so much shit out there, man. Like Netflix, Hulu, Disney, ESPN Plus, which I already have. And I saw that there's what's another one? It's like another streaming platform service, and everything just has a plus now. Paramount? No. Is it plus? No, I forget, something like that. But everything has like a plus now. You know what I mean? So there's just so much shit out there. Hard to keep track of everything. Hard to stay on top of the newest of this and the newest that. Oh, and then Apple TV Plus. Actually, that's what I wanted to talk about too. Have y'all seen the new movie Palmer on Apple TV with Justin Timberlake? Man, talk about a tearjerker. I teared up and cried twice. Teared up and cried twice watching that movie. Such a good fucking movie. If you haven't seen it, I'm not gonna give any spoiler alerts, but I will say it's worth it. If you don't have, if you do have Apple TV, watch that shit. And if you don't have Apple TV, I'm pretty sure they're giving it. When I got the iPhone 11, it came with my phone. Well, it like physically came with it, but or maybe it was at AT. I forget what it was, but AT&T sent me like a promo thingy where it's like you had Apple TV free for 1 year. Same thing with Disney Plus. Like Disney Plus, when it dropped, Verizon people who have Verizon got Disney Plus for a year. AT&T was giving out Apple TV for a free year, and because of the whole pandemic, they actually extended it all the way till like March of this year for free. So look into that if you haven't already. They got a few things on there. I remember seeing that Mariah Carey Christmas edition thing, and they even had like a Chris Brown thing. Or am I tripping? Maybe it's not Chris Brown. I forget. But Apple TV has it. So Palmer on Apple TV, good fucking movie. It's about this basically there's this dude that does like 12 years in prison, gets out, goes back to the same hometown where he's from, and he moves with his grandma, and from there he meets his little boy, and then they develop a bond, and then he ends up like being like a role model of him, and then it's centered around that their relationship that they had, not relationship like that, but like their little bond that they had, and it's again, it's a tearjerker. So definitely check that out. Palmer on Apple TV. But yeah, so this week has been pretty chill. Still, besides the Super Bowl and all that, pretty chill week. Randomly too, my work, I went to Carmel for the day. Literally drove all the way to Carmel. And if you're in California and in Northern California, you'll know where Carmel is at. If you don't, or if you're not from California, or again, if you live under a fucking rock, Carmel is located literally not state line, is it? Or on the coast of Northern California, by Monterey, by Seaside. And I guess you can say kind of by Santa Cruz. It's south of that, if that gives you like a better reference geographically. But Carmel is, how can I describe it? Rich people, you know what I mean? Nice as fuck area. I mean, I wish I could live over there. Cannot afford that. I think it's even more expensive than being here in Sacramento. But anyway, so I was thinking about like when I was over there and then driving through the beach and then driving through the city itself and driving on that coast. I thought to myself how lucky and how fortunate I am to live where I do and being here in California, because I thought about being last year, or I'm damn near 2 years now. I remember pre-pandemic in November, I went to Charlotte, North Carolina to visit my homie Bellerin. Shout out Bell. Charlotte, that foe. And I remember he was saying, well, him and his wife, they were saying like how they have never been to San Francisco and how they've seen in movies and pictures and Google, you know what I mean? The San Francisco Bridge or Golden Gate Bridge. And they said that, they've always wanted to be there. And I thought about it like, okay, where I'm at, Sacramento, I'm less than 2 hours, about an hour and a half from San Francisco. About 2.5 hours, Carmel, Seaside, Santa Cruz. About 2.5 hours, Lake Tahoe. Less than 1 hour, Auburn. 6 hours to LA. 7 hours, roughly. I mean, to Las Vegas, Reno, all these places in the surrounding areas. And I was thinking like, damn, I'm fortunate enough to have that, because a lot of people don't. But also, that's your fault if you don't. Move to California. You know what I mean? Or don't. A lot of people don't want to do it because it's expensive, which it is. And taxes wise, it's not a good idea, which is not. But that's just me being hypocritical AF on all that shit, because I don't see myself going anywhere. Anyway, but being in Carmel, seeing everything, and like I said, just being like really appreciative of where I'm at and where I live and everything. But I also got to thinking, what the fuck? What do you do? Like every day you have the beach, right? Same thing with Santa Cruz. And every day there's always something to do, right? How is it that people get bored of the area? I don't get it. I was like not eavesdropping because I was working in the area and they happened to just be talking, but these people were just saying like how they're over being in Carmel. They said they're over it. It's all overrated and all this other stuff. And I was thinking, how the hell is that possible? You're literally walking distance to a beach. So with perfect weather, you know what I mean? I don't know. None of my business, I guess. Almost through mid-February, nothing crazy going on. Nothing crazy coming up. I mean, there's Valentine's Day coming up, which I hit on like a few episodes ago. Valentine's Day. I'm not a big Valentine's Day person. I obviously know that you got to at least do something, some acknowledgments, So I think I forget what I said on one of the episodes, but basically I was just saying like, yo, it's easy. Get something. It's easy as fuck to just get a flower or flowers or, you know what I mean? A card. Is there even do people give cards anymore? I'm not talking about like little kids in elementary school. I'm talking about adults. It'd be tough to give a card, right? I mean, it's different if it's like a handwritten one, maybe, which I don't know how it would go as far as cards in Valentine's Day, but that's whatever. The podcast itself is still growing. It's pretty cool to see. I was looking at a few emails as far as like this web hosting site that I use, and they kind of like they're the distributors of the podcast to all the different streaming platforms, and it's like now it's officially like on the 16th different streaming service. So it's not just besides the big ones like the Apple, the Spotify, Google podcasts, Stitcher. Besides all those, it finally branched out to all the little ones. Overcast, iHeartRadio. I mean, actually, iHeartRadio is definitely not little, so it's one of the top ones too. But it's basically on every single one now too, and it's cool because with analytics now, everything gets tracked, right? They are able to give you like literally in-depth details of like how many people are listening, how many people are downloading, how many people are lasting longer than 5 minutes. Are they only listening for a minute? Are they listening to the whole thing in full? Where, like, what regions of the country it's coming from, what states, how they are listening to it, where they found it, what gets Googled and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So all that is able to see, it's tracked, and you can see every little thing. And man, let me tell you, that shit is humbling. So it will either make you or break you, because that shit's gonna hit you with some real stuff. And I'm sure, like, I'm not the only one. I'm sure, like, there's a bunch of different content creators, artists, and stuff of that nature that kind of get the same thing and break everything down. I mean, even that's at a smaller scale. At a bigger scale, there's ESPN, Fox, CNN, all those people. Same thing. Everything gets tracked and everything gets ratings and viewership, and it's all basically the same thing, just on a bigger scale. But yeah, it'll break everything down, and it will show you all kinds of crazy stuff, which is pretty cool to see. And 11 episodes deep, I'm still crazy to even, not crazy, but like, I'm still like tripped out on the fact that people are like listening to and engaging with me every single week, and are on the YouTube and are watching the episodes, and are spreading the word with everything. And it's still, to this day, fucking cool to see. So again, I appreciate y'all. It is growing and growing, and there's a bunch of stuff still going on that's not fully done yet, and that's still like in the works. And I know I say that like damn near every single episode, but because it's always changing, it's constantly growing and it constantly evolving. So that's why I say that, because one week is I got this planned out, and then the next week is like 2 things planned out, and then the next week is like these opportunities and more people, and then different avenues that it's like branching off to. So that's why every week it's constantly changing, which is cool in and of itself. So I'm trying to incorporate a few more new things, new segments and everything, right? There's certain, legitimacy in this. Well, if you want it to be successful, there's a certain way that historically has been, shown to have success with everything. And I'm not a fucking, I'm not the most prolific person when it comes to these type of things, but I'm getting there. Okay. Every week I'm looking to incorporate and find something with this, like, that correlates with the name of the show, Hypocritical AF. And like I said, I've already given the whole background with the show, and why I chose the title, and the reasoning behind all this, and why I started a podcast and everything. But a segment that I want to start incorporating going forward is finding something every week, whether it's in my own personal life, whether it's in my work life, or just out there in the public, or just finding something in general that I find to be hypocritical, something that I find hypocritical of the week, right? What did you see today that was hypocritical? How are you hypocritical? And I already did it earlier ago on the episode by telling people, like, come here, and then be like, nah, but don't come here. Move here, but don't move here. Like, you want to live here, but you don't want to live here. That's so I guess I already did that. But every week finding something that's hypocritical, along with the other segments, like the quick hitters with the guests. Those are dope, and those are still changing. Or like at the end of these solo ones, giving you guys quotes of the week. Love doing those. And am I stealing a few? Yeah, bro, I can't come up with no damn quotes myself. I can barely even read and write. Come on now. So I saw something on the news today, and it was talking about like a bunch of the flights, then how like, there's like a new level of security, and, understandably so, but how a lot of these people with flights that may have got canceled, or trips that may have gone postponed, and, stuff like that. And a lot of people getting their money back, and a lot of people spending not as much as they would because of ticket prices and the demand not being there, right? And I remember one time, story time for y'all. I remember one time, one year, I was trying to go to New York, specifically Manhattan. And I was going to go for the New Year's Eve, New Year's, the ball drop, the countdown, you know, like the shit that you see on TRL and you're at that little corner. Usually it always was like Carson Daly or some shit like that, but they do the countdown live, you know? And I remember one year, this is funny, this shit. Sorry. One year I was just like, okay, I'm buying tickets to go, but it wasn't going to be just me. Typical young, you know, young, dumb, and young, dumb male. I'm talking about myself, of course. And I was buying these tickets for a girl. And at that time, was in this relationship. Well, I wasn't even was in a relationship, wasn't in a relationship. It was like one of those things where you're like, you're not together, but you're together. You're not together, but you're kicking it. You're not together, but you're talking. You're just not together. You know what I mean? One of those dumb things. And I remember being like, okay, I remember this girl would always used to say how she wanted to go to New Year's to watch the ball drop. It was like a goal in her life. And it was like the thing that she wanted the most was like to go watch the fucking New Year's ball drop and the countdown at Times Square. So my dumbass was just like, oh, you know what I should do? Let me fucking buy 2 tickets, fly out to New York during New Year's Eve, which if you know anything about traveling during that time specifically, you know that Christmas, New Year's Eve are like one of the most expensive times to fucking fly, right? Because everybody's traveling for like families and going everywhere, you know? So $2,000 later, I buy these tickets, dumbass on my part, buy these tickets. And I'm like, oh, like, you know, I'm going to do a little surprise and be like, look what I got us, right? Let me tell you how it backfired on me. I'm talking to this girl, tell her, hey, I got us the tickets. I got us the tickets to go to New York, to Manhattan, Times Square, the ball drop. I'm all excited. I'm hyped. I'm like, yeah, we're going to go. We're going to go do this. We're going to knock this out. We're going to get a hotel and stay there. We're going to do this, blah, blah, blah. She was just like, cool. Yeah, I'm not going to go. I was like, damn, I just spent $2,000. What the hell? And what's messed up too is that you can't change the itinerary. You can't change the flight. You can't change the person, like the passenger name. Because I was thinking instantly, I was just like, first of all, that sucks. Second of all, I was like, well, shit, I'll just invite one of my cousins. So I was like, oh, Junior, I'm going to invite him and see if he wants to go. Hit him up. Hey, Junior, you down to go to New York? Times Square, Manhattan, ball drop. He's like, I'm in. I tried to change it. I can't change it. I trying to explain to him like, oh, this passenger doesn't want to go anymore. I'm still going to pay for the flight. So I want to keep the ticket. Just change the name on the ticket. No, you can't do that. Damn. Okay. So now I'm 2,000 down. What am I supposed to do? I can't say exactly what I did, but I pulled a few strings, called in a few favors, and luckily I was able to get my money back. It took about a month or so, but I got my money back. Okay, I got that back. And it was a life lesson learned on my part. Don't fucking plan a trip. Don't buy, unless you got the money like that and you're okay with losing the money. Don't plan a trip. Don't buy something cross country, literally from coast to coast, without getting the for sure okay from the other party. Again, if you're okay with losing out on money and if you're okay with just splurging like that, or if you got it like that, then this doesn't apply to you. But learn from my mistakes, people. Jesus. With that being said, too, I still want to go to New York. Sorry. Never been. Still want to go. When is a good time to go? You know what I mean? And has anybody flown into New York since all this stuff? Because remember, New York at one point was like the worst. It was like the hub of the whole COVID thing. So I definitely still feel like going, you know. I remember one time my homie Wito was over there and I FaceTimed him while he was there. So I saw a few things and I was kind of living vicariously through him through FaceTime. So does that count? I'll take some points for that. But definitely want to go there amongst a few places. You know what I mean? Of course, New York being one of them. But yeah. Anyway, Cecil Hotel Netflix, shitty Super Bowl game, competitive beer pong games, and we got the new studio set dress stuff that's kind of coming in. I changed up a few of the lights too. I think going forward, I had the red one, but I think going forward, I'm gonna have a couple different color ones that's gonna change, and got a few more like little freaking, I don't know what you would call them, but little stuff that we're bringing in for the podcast when the guest comes on. Yeah, pretty excited to do all that, and a few more things amongst others. But other than that, we can wrap this up by saying and bringing up the quote of the week. And this was dope. This one is coming from an individual named Dale Carnegie. And the quote of the week is, develop success from failures. Discouragement and failure are two of the surest stepping stones to success. I'm going to say that again. Develop success from failures. Discouragement and failure are two of the surest stepping stones to success. Take that one in. Take that one in. Don't be afraid to fail, people. Failing is all part of the process. If you feel like doing something, if you want to do something, if you dream of doing something, make that step to go forward and do it. Don't be afraid of failure. Like me, I'm okay with failing. I'm afraid to fail, right? But I'm okay with failing because I know that I actually gave the attempt. And doing that attempt is already more than the person that doesn't make the attempt to do it. That person is already failing from the jump. If you fail while starting, at least you already developed the experience from that, the knowledge from that, and at least you put a foot forward. So take that one in for the week. And yeah, so next week, stay tuned in. Again, every Wednesday we drop all these. Next one is a guest one. Sorry you had to deal with back-to-back solo ones. Not really sorry. But another guest one coming in, man. But again, just wanted to recap with all this. Well, everything that I was saying, actually, specifically, if you're new to all this, again, every Wednesday we're dropping all these. But thank y'all again, man. I see all this stuff. I see all the different places that it's coming in from. I see all the support for everything, man. So it is really humbling. So learn from the mistakes. Anyway, that is it. This has been another episode of the Hypocritical AF podcast. I am Albert Fig. My son is still asleep. Thank God. And y'all have a good one. Peace.